Hey guys, welcome back to Martin James Designs. This is the Sporty build series, episode 4. We are finishing the fabrication on this one. I'm going to be chopping up the original 21-inch fender and reshaping it, welding it, and getting it to a nice custom fit. Also going to be finishing that top bracket you guys saw start from the last episode. Getting that all dialed in, finishing the seat off, and basically getting everything on this bike ready to go so I can start stripping it down and getting ready for paint and powder. Also, before I get started on this episode, I wanted to give a shout out to Premium Bike Lifts for sponsoring us for this build series. Super grateful, been using their lift for a long time, so we were able to get another one in here. There is a promo code in the description if you guys want to get yourself some accessories or a bike lift for any of your guys' projects you're doing in your shop. Also, we need a name for this bike. I'm always naming the builds I'm doing. This one, haven't fully come up with one yet, but I was thinking if you guys leave a comment and name the bike, if I pick the name, I'll be putting together a Martin James Designs package for you guys with custom powder coated mug and some gear and stickers and stuff like that. So yeah, give me a hand naming this bike. I like simple words, something badass, nothing too complicated. So start firing some ideas my way. But let's get going on this build. So we're gonna get started on the front fender right now. So as you can see, I got all the tape marked. So basically I'm gonna chop this fender, make it a short front fender, cut it beveled here. So this will be the new shape, even on both sides, nice short, low profile. It's got a dent in it, so I'm gonna have to do some repair on that. But what I'm gonna do is drill these rivets out, remove the entire original brace. As you can see, that's where it would sit. It had a 21-inch rim before. And we want to get it really low and mount it as low to the tire as we can. So because we went with the metal rod in the back supporting the rear fender, I'm going to do the same in the front. So I'm going to drill these rivets out, weld on new, I don't know how I'm going to quite do it yet, but I'm going to weld on new round tube down to this with welding washers on and bolts. And we're going to get a nice low profile, powder coat those, and they'll look the same as the ones in the rear. So I'm gonna start on that. I've been watching some YouTube videos on how to fill holes, and that's the first thing I need to do, which I've never done before, but I need to fill these holes because I want to I don't want to have big like nuts and bolts going through that. I want to weld it where it looks nice and clean. So I'm gonna try to fill these holes in first and then start figuring out how I'm gonna connect this fender. Okay, I've gone and grabbed some scrap aluminum here. I just watched a YouTube video. It said copper or like a dissimilar metal, and I know aluminum is, so copper would be ideal, but I couldn't find any. So I've just gone and clamped that to the back side of the hole, and I'm gonna try my hand at welding this hole in and seeing how that works. If it does, then I can plug all 4 of these holes, and then I just kind of banged the fender out a bit. It obviously needs a lot of body work. The front of the bike looks like the bike had been dumped before. So I sandblasted it all, got it all ready. I'm gonna try to plug weld these and then figure out how we're gonna mount it. So I lowered the voltage and the wire speed so it doesn't get too hot. We'll grind that up and see how it worked. Okay, I think that worked. I'm like pretty happy with it for my first time trying it. You want to what? It filled all the holes, and I'll be able to use a bit of Bondo and stuff to smooth that fender out just because it was a little banged up to begin with. So I'll be able to work my magic on that the best I can before I paint it. So yeah, I'll show you guys how it turned out. So the holes definitely got filled. So anyway, should work. I got to bang the fender out a bit as best I can, try to straighten it out. And then once I do that, we're gonna start figuring out exactly how we want this thing to sit, how low, and then start fabbing up some brackets to connect here. So that's kind of the next step. I think that's gotta sit like that, something like that. I just want to clarify, I am not a metal worker. I am still learning. I'm actually a plumber by trade. So a lot of these things that I'm doing in the shop, I haven't always done before. I'm sure there's better ways to do them. But I'm just using what I got. I also want to point out that I do have a lot of good tools in the shop, but they are all basic tools. I don't have any fancy things that, you know, big bike shops and stuff have. So a lot of these things that I'm using, you guys would have access to in your own shop too. I guess that kind of helps as well for whenever you're working on your bikes at home, you can kind of see more of a simple approach than having like English wheels and all that kind of stuff. So got this. It's a engine jack, and I'm just gonna heat up some square tube. I'm just gonna heat up some of this flat bar I got, and with a torch, I'm gonna bend it around this, hopefully just start working the shape, because that's going to be the mounting point for the fender. Okay, on the last episode, my brother welded up this bracket here, and we didn't have the proper tools, so we did a bit of overcut. But I'm gonna use the welder now, and I'm gonna weld, fill these holes, and now I have a Dremel so I can properly shape it. So my next step here is to weld in these holes, use a Dremel, and clean it all out so this will fit perfect in there. Once that happens, then I'm gonna grind down all the welds and get this thing sandblasted and then test it out. All right, I think I'm gonna leave it here. I still have to do the seat, but I'll show you exactly how I have that planned, and I'm ready to strip this bike down. I'm excited. I want to get to this paint and powder. So we'll just do a quick walk around the bike. You guys saw from the last episode, we got the whole rear done. Obviously I have to cut these down and put the bullet caps on, powder coat everything. I found the proper bushing for that. I'll go over that when we do the install. Exactly with this seat, I've already figured out I'm gonna weld a longer thread on that. So this will sit like through here like that. And then I'm just going to drill a hole and thread the nut on there. So that way we can still take the seat apart, but I have to sandblast this first. And this is gonna get powder coated the same color as the frame so it blends in nice. And then I wanna keep these chrome. So I'm not gonna bother doing any of that right now because I can do that fairly easy when we do the install. The bracket looks good, happy with it. Turned out pretty nice. So that's gonna work good. Just have to get some bolts to bolt that down, and then we'll powder coat the heads. Fender turned out good, nice and solid. Just gonna shape it a little bit more, but when I do the body work on it, I should be able to get everything nice and square. So next step is I just have to throw the tank raise on, and that's about it. I'm gonna be pulling this engine. I got the engine lift there so I can keep the engine hung while I clean and paint it. And then I'm gonna start sanding all the parts and start powder coating and painting. So we're gonna get moving quick now that all the fab's been done. Okay, that's it. I know it's hard to see right now, just because the bike's in pieces and so many different colors and stuff, but I can see it. It's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna be doing like a candy paint on it with metallic flake, like an old school red with silver and black. It's gonna look really neat. And all black powder coated parts. I'm excited to see how this one's turning out. So I'm gonna be plugging away. We're putting episodes out pretty fast right now. I'm gonna start working on episode 5, which is pulling the engine and getting it painted and prepped. And we're gonna start doing powder coat and everything from then. So if you guys want, subscribe so you can follow the rest of the build. And thanks for watching.